Hi, hello, and good evening. What an exciting week, right? We had a first double eviction of the season. Hopefully, first. Let's speak that into existence, right? We're getting another one. We're getting another one. We had 2 games of Big Brother happening under the same roof. Well, I guess not under the same roof. Woof. It's just a lot to discuss. Let's just go. Let's go. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined by my festy besties, Gina and John. Let's make this shorter. And this is Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast. You can find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on our website at bbjuryduty.com. Okay, so we missed Monday, so there's a lot to chat about here, right? Mm-hmm. We left off on Thursday with Michael and Terrence. It also feels like a very long time ago.
It really does.
Yes. Michael and Terrence winning the 2 HOH competitions, with Michael being the HOH for the indoor folks, Big Brochella, and then Terrence outside with Dire Fest, really bringing up the rear here. That says no more.
Yeah. How will you greet us for the rest of the run?
I don't know. Like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, if Matt wants to come up with his own for us, that would be very enjoyable.
We would appreciate that. We love creativity here at Jury Duty. So I guess there was obviously a lot of discourse among us even regarding the schoolyard picks for Big Brochella and Dire Fest. Were there any final comments on that before we move on to what they were?
Whack.
The one way to screw this up is to let them pick their own teams. And they did it.
Couldn't they have done like a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket too? Like I hated how like Terrence was just the other HOH because he lost. Like he lost to Mike. You know what I mean? Like it's like you lost, now you're HOH. Congratulations. Like I feel like couldn't they have done like whoever like gets knocked out, they go sit on the other couch over there, and like whoever wins, from this group that's still in it, they're the first HOH, and now we have a losers bracket where they have to go against each other or something. I don't know. It's just like, oh, congratulations, you're in second place, which means now you have the power to nominate and evict someone.
Right, you just didn't lose like
the worst
sooner. Yeah. Like you didn't actually win anything, you just happened to not lose. Like that's not right.
I get annoyed because it's like we've seen in competitions before where it's like, oh, someone who doesn't win HOH is going to get some kind of punishment, so one by one as people get eliminated they draw a thing out of this bucket, and whoever gets the one that's like whatever gets the why was it not that situation to determine the teams? Like you go, you pick something up, and whether you're pink or green is what team you're on. Like, I just don't understand why they gave them the opportunity to choose the teams.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's boring.
It was boring. It was boring. But now, who did Michael choose to be on the inside? We had obviously Monty, Jasmine, Brittany, and Taylor. Those are his selections. Forcing, well, not really forcing. It's not like he picked whatever. Who cares? So Terrence had, Joseph, Turner, Alyssa, and Kyle. The backyard gang. So we'll start with
backyard gang.
My favorite thing about the picks was that Kyle was never chosen.
They're like, oh, come over here, and it's like, oh.
Well, there's no one left, so I guess I'm on your team.
Gave me some serious like PTSD.
Yup.
Like this felt very much like gym class my entire life. Yeah, really, really did make me feel good. And of course, the same name. This really resonated deeply. I found it highly traumatizing.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever to Big Brochella. I've kind of felt like their eviction cycle was kind of lame. All right, pretty uneventful.
It was predictable.
Yeah. It went as expected. Michael selects Monty and Jasmine, basically tells Jasmine that she's the pawn and Monty is the target, which She said she believed at the time. Now she says that she knew. She lies.
They always say they knew.
Exactly. They always say they knew. They don't want to look like a clown.
Which, can we also
Yeah.
talk about how for the second consecutive week in a row, Jasmine said, you can't put me up for my birthday week? Last week was your birthday week. What do you mean I can't go on the block for my birthday week?
I'm so
Her
sick
birthday, her birthday week, her birthday month. It's her birthday year.
Yes.
But it's like,
Sorry, sorry, she's off limits.
Last week was your birthday week. How can you use my birthday week this week? That was last week.
Was that last week though? Wasn't that 2 weeks
Yes.
ago? That
I
was
think-
only last week.
I think she started using it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Her actual
okay.
birthday was last week.
I cared so little about when her actual.
Yeah,
date
because
of birth
who cares
was.
about what anybody's birthday is?
Well,
That's not what we're here for.
I do care about others. Keisha's birthday was, certainly something fun. We did enjoy Joseph's birthday because that's really where so much of this started.
Sure, good things happen on birthdays, but when you're playing a game for $750,000, I couldn't give a shit less when your birthday is.
Yeah, and it's also like when the birthday comes and it's like a special moment, sure. But it's when it's like, all right, this has now bled into like 3 weeks of you telling people,
Yeah.
don't put
I'm
me up, it's my
entitled to
birthday
get
week.
I'm entitled to get prizes and not go on the block because it's my birthday. That's when I get annoyed. Like, no, you're not.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing
Better
a game
not
just
give me
like
a
I am.
punishment. Better not give me a punishment on my
Shut up.
birthday week.
Well, okay, now hold on now. It depends on what the punishment is, I think. No, for me anyway, like in a veto, like whatever, like sorry, like that kind of punish, you don't get a birthday pass, for that veto competition where we're passing punishments. But like, you don't have to put me on slop for my birthday. You don't have to do that.
Slop, I get.
Yeah,
Slop,
all right.
I get.
That's all.
Because this is the second
I want
season in a
some
row.
cake.
This is the second season in a row that somebody pulled my birthday card during the punishment or reward competition. I don't care.
That was Sarah Beth last year, right?
Yes.
Was that Sarah Beth? Yeah.
I would have given that punishment and been like, "Oh, happy birthday!" with like a
Right,
smile. on my
now
face.
I want to
Yeah.
punish
Here's
you
your
more.
present. Yeah, here's
Don't
your
say I never
present.
gave you anything.
Now I want to punish you even more because you complained about it.
I don't disagree. But we had a fun veto inside the house, right? Because we had a special guest,
Mhm.
That's right.
the lady
That's
Tiff.
right, Miss.
She joined us.
Tiffany.
Yes. This was that counting veto competition. And I enjoy that. I like the counting ones. I love the stay folds. Very, very fun. I was here for this. And Brittany wins.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for Brittany.
Mhm.
Yeah, good for her getting a comp win, without Michael. All you
Right.
people that are
Right.
basically saying that she was riding his coattails, suck on that. She got her veto. Okay, good for you. And as expected, she does absolutely nothing with it. And
Why
leaves-
would she?
Exactly. There'd be no good reason for her to. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Plan executed. Monty and Jasmine remain on the block. Really to little or no fanfare. And we see Jasmine leave.
Bye.
Bye. Exactly. Yeah. Woo. I was very excited. I was screaming. I was happy that we got this eviction really right out of the gate, didn't we?
Yeah.
9:15.
fast.
We had cheeks in the
Bing, bang,
seat.
boom. She's gone.
Yes. See you later. Exactly how she deserves to leave.
I saw people commenting on Twitter too, because even in this episode, Jasmine was like, "Yeah, I'm still kind of injured, but am I milking it a little bit? Sure."
Oh,
And
but
then
we were
as
like,
soon as she
about
gets
freaking
evicted-
time.
As soon as she gets evicted, she goes jogging out in her heels.
Yeah,
Hey,
heels.
Julie.
Hey.
But I was just happy she finally admitted to it. Like, because even like to us, she was like, "Ugh, my ankle." I'm glad that she finally was like, "No, like I'm making it up.
What was she like again?
I'm not doing it again. You know I'm not gonna do it again."
You know what
That's
I
all right,
miss?
we'll
If
play.
I could bring back one of my favorite memories of Jasmine was when I forget who she was sitting out there with. Might have been like Kyle and Joseph or something, and like a bug came close to her foot. She was like, "I think that bug was going for my ankle." I was like, "No, it wasn't."
The bug couldn't care less.
Ugh, and neither could I.
Jasmine left faster than a tornado through a trailer park. Thank goodness.
Oh
You see,
God.
You have it in you. You have it in you. You can still come up with some good
I
intros
believe in
for
you.
us.
You got some
we
good
believe
ones.
in you. Yes, we believe in you.
We do.
Okay. So that was it for Big Brochella. Unless we have any other thoughts on inside
There
the
was
house.
literally nothing to talk about for that side
There
of the
wasn't.
house.
There really
It was
wasn't.
very cut and dry.
It was probably actually a very nice week for them, even for like Jasmine, because like out of nowhere you went from having 10 people in that house, right, to having only 5 people. It's much easier to use the bathroom all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like we're not used to getting to this stage where there's this few people in the house until normally much later.
Right.
It was I'm sure it was a weird experience for them being in the house with that small amount of people in there too.
Yeah.
Makes you think you're further in the game than you are.
And then you find yourself sitting on your ass with Julie very quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
Certainly not as far along as you may have thought. So thank you, Big Brochella, for getting the job done. And now we thought it'd be really fun, to separate both cycles with everybody's favorite Julie Judgment. Bong, 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 bong. And this is very early for Judge and Julie. Very early. Okay. I have many thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have thoughts about the pictures that were posted. Did you see them?
I did not see
I did
them.
not.
Excellent. I'm glad. So here's picture 1. Miss Julie in her red. Please note the upside down cue card.
Oh my god.
Okay, the upside down cue card. Now, this was a trend she continued.
Nobody could have told her. Nobody told her.
Right. Now, I did read the caption that went along with this photo. And they say, tonight's BB24 Double Eviction might turn Big Brother upside down. Now, here's my question for you. Was this intentional, or did the caption save it because we didn't have any more time to take new pictures?
I think the caption saved it because some intern said, uh-oh.
Exactly. I think show is about to start. We took these pictures and then realized they were upside down. We're like, oh, how do we spin this? And then we're just gonna make it look like this is something intentional.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to get people's opinion on that. That was definitely my read on it. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Oh, you think it was on purpose? You think it was on purpose?
I could see it. I could see it being intentional.
Look at you.
I love your optimism.
Faith in the lady
not because of Julie. I think somebody put the card in her hand, said, hold it upside down. We have a great tweet we want to put out. This twist is going to turn the house upside down. That's what I think happened.
I think that's great that you believe that. I'm looking at his face.
I appreciate your optimism.
Exactly.
I'm not saying, again, I'll repeat, I don't think Julie had anything to do with this. I think somebody handed her the card, said, hold it upside down.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm looking at her face. This is not a face that looks like it had any idea what the intention was. That's what I'm saying though, is that she doesn't send out these tweets. Somebody, I think, gave her the card, said hold it upside down, and then we're going to use this in a tweet. That's what I think. Yeah, I think that's nice.
I think that's nice.
I think somebody told her to stand over there, and she did a few things. They were like, "Oh, damn."
I also found myself saying several times throughout this episode, I don't know, you'd think after 20 plus years, Julie would be better at this. But
you would think.
Yikes.
But anyway, she's the queen, I suppose.
Oh, Julie.
At least for America. Despite all this, though, I give it a hot.
Oh, I absolutely. The lights came up on the episode, and I said, audibly out loud, I said, good job, Julie.
Nice.
Yeah. This is a good look. Hair looked nice.
Hair was great.
Mm-hmm.
Hair was great. I love this. It was very simple, but yeah, really beautiful. Wonderful. Great job, Julie. You're back. You're back.
Oh God.
And welcome. Okay. So now we get into where the good stuff really was, and it was at Dire Fest. Okay, where Terrence was crowned king.
Yeah, he was the last of the losers.
Yes, you were the best of the worst.
I will say I was very confused by his strategy when it came to picking his people. Like, he picked Turner first, And I don't know what it is about his relationship with Turner that made him feel like that was the person that he had to have on his side immediately
Right.
first.
Yeah.
I
That
just
was
don't
like-
know what his plan was.
Yeah, for some reason he seems to think that Turner is working with him and kind of like working on his side. At least he thought that then. And I didn't really get to see much of that or why we think that.
I don't understand why he felt that way.
I don't understand it
I
either.
don't either. I also was confused because as the picking was going on, Turner actually said to Terrence, like, "Oh, the next person you pick should be your target." And Terrence immediately
get Alyssa.
And Terrence immediately picked Alyssa, but then Terrence immediately told Turner and Alyssa that they were safe. So the whole reason for Terrence choosing Turner was like, I want to listen to what he has to say, the advice he has to give me, this and that. The first bit of advice that Turner gave him was pick your target next. And he picked Alyssa. So he literally went against what Turner said immediately after he said that he picked Turner to get advice from Turner. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can get advice from someone and not necessarily just take it right away.
Sure. It's just funny. Like the juxtaposition of it was very funny. It was like, I'm picking Turner because I trust Turner and I think he'd give me good advice. And then you just hear Turner go, pick, your next pick should be your target, Alyssa. And then we hear Terrence going to Alyssa, don't worry, you're safe this week. It was just, that whole thing was just funny.
What do you mean?
It's like, it didn't really make any sense here, the order of operations here.
I'm happy he did it that way. I was, if you really believe that you're going to keep Alyssa safe, I think that was a good move for Terrence to kind of keep Alyssa safe because she is on the outside of things. Well, I mean, she's
in a showmance.
Yeah, this is how this was then. Yeah, she's in a showmance.
Separated.
Yeah, I don't totally trust this showmance though. I almost feel like this is more out of convenience than anything else. Alyssa does not seem like she's really like down the clown like she used to be.
I don't know. This whole thing is just so weird. I also it's odd to me too, like the order of Terrence picking. Like he picked Turner and Alyssa first. Like he seemed so gung-ho on Joseph all week, but it was like, what if you didn't even end up with Joseph? By the time he got around to Joseph, who was it? Just Joseph and Kyle left, right? I mean, like he picked his target.
Joseph,
last.
Monty, and Kyle were all left.
Oh, Joseph. Oh, that's right. It was Monty and Kyle were the last ones. Okay.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It just seemed odd to me that like he was so dead set on getting Joseph out. Meanwhile, Joseph was like almost like, you were down to the last couple of people. It was like, let me pick Joseph. I don't know. I feel like if you're gunning for someone, the way that Terrence felt like he was gunning for
his
Joseph,
strategy in this made no sense to me. Everything that Michael did, I was like, yeah, totally. I absolutely see that. Terrence, I was like, what is happening in your head? Like, who even are you planning on targeting? I don't know what's happening here.
Well, there's also the anxiety that kind of also comes from like, so Joseph might be my target. Not that I want to get into any habit here of defending Terrence's decisions or anything like that. But when you're dealing with picking like this, I feel like it's kind of tricky because yes, you're the HOH, but you don't actually have any say in who's going home. So if you want Joseph to be your target, you do also have to make sure you're picking people that are going to do as you want. So like, what an interesting position to be placed in that I want to get this done, but I got to pick the right people. God forbid, Michael picks them too. Whereas I didn't hate the schoolyard picking for that reason. I think it puts people in an interesting position. I think they have to kind of like show cards one way or the other. So it's like, so Michael, was your intention to get out Monty or Jasmine? And the other person that now stays, that's going to be in the back of their head the entire time. Maybe not so much. Maybe Monty and Jasmine may not be the best example, because they were already kind of working together. But you know what I mean? It kind of just creates like an interesting dynamic, I thought.
I just felt like Terrence didn't have any cards to show.
But that's what I feel like this whole game I haven't really known what his opinion is because he's just a yes man to whoever he's talking to.
I do agree with that. I have no idea what Terrence's cards were to be shown. I didn't know what to expect from anything that he was doing. And I'm not even 100% sure that Terrence knows.
A lot of his like DR sessions this week, I was like, but really? Like it feels like he was like kind of led there. It's like, is this what you thought?
There were so many times that he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep getting information that I can use later. And I'm like, Terrence, you haven't used any information at all in this game so far. Like the only reason that you're gonna have a successful HOH week was because like you have just a very small group of people that have ended up in your group in this HOH that you actually lost, but still won somehow. And like, it's like, what are you actually going to do with this information now, Terrence? All this information that you're going to get. Oh, these guys, kept talking about how Joseph and Kyle are, they keep spilling all this information and they keep throwing each other under the bus. I don't see Terrence actually like effectively using any of this information when he goes back into the house, because I don't think he knows how to.
Well, I guess we'll see as we get further here, because a new alliance was formed as a result of all this, and I'm excited to talk about that. And that's where some of Terrence's information was now put into use. Ish. So anyway, let's get there. So Joseph and Turner were his initial nominees, and this happened really because Kyle spilled the beans on the leftovers and really told Terrence everything. So all trust with Turner had been broken, and then Joey hit the block as planned.
Joey, we gotta stop with Joey. I can't.
I said Joey before we went live, before you joined us, John, and Gina was like, "Oh no."
Joey.
So I just had to make sure I put it in there at least
Joey.
once. But now that I'm doing it, I'm in it.
It's
this is my last night. It's my last night to do it.
All I can think of is Uncle Joey from Full House.
Oh, I think of Joey from Friends. Just add it to the list of men I love. But yeah, so we saw Joseph and Turner hit the block first, and that really set off quite the chain of events here. But now, so when they played Veto, I don't even remember what this thing was. I know that it was some kind of play.
It was to go
stacking
boxes.
of
they had to stack them.
Yeah,
they had to
what
build their own veto
competition. Yeah, they literally had to set up their own veto competition.
Yeah, how sad. It looked like Big Brother over the
like,
top.
But also, do you know how
worse,
easy?
honestly.
Do you know how easy it would have been to sabotage somebody when you're setting up your own competitions? Bad move on production's part. Someone really could have screwed that up.
Well, I guess while we're there, there's a whole lot of things that were really messed up about this.
Oh yes.
Because I understand from what I was reading on the feeds, life kind of got in the way, so I wasn't really watching it all. But I understand the wall yellers made a return.
The thing was, there was nothing to watch. We had no feeds on the backyard all week because of the wall yeller. Which, dear production, on a normal season, when they have a little bit of outside time here and there, you have problems with wall yellers. What did you think was going to happen when you banished half of the house outside all week? How did you not account for wall yellers? How did you not think that was a possibility?
Yeah, it's like BBUS just cannot get out of its own way.
And they had no strategy and how to combat it except, I guess we got to blast music as loud as we possibly can. So if someone tries to yell, they won't hear it. That was all you had?
No security, no nothing. No one even gave this a thought.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, what a disgrace. Honestly, it's embarrassing.
And then we, as a result, got no feeds on the backyard all week because they had to blast music as loud as they possibly could. And the music wasn't royalty free, so they can't stream it on the live feeds.
Nope.
So we just weren't allowed to see anything that happened in the backyard all week.
Yeah.
Real bummer.
Matt is asking, what happened to the security budget? I just think it's so sweet that you think there is one. There's no security budget. This is season 24, and the same shenanigans are going on as there were 10 years ago.
The problem is not their budget. The problem is they're too stupid to know that they have to account for wall yellers.
Right. They're not even trying to allocate funds that direction.
They just send out an intern with a security jacket on. Just to stand there.
It was the most predictable outcome when you banish half of the house to be outside all week with no ability to go inside. The most predictable outcome is that somebody is going to fly a banner plane, hire a DJ, wall yell with a megaphone, something. We've seen it happen every season when people aren't banished to be outside.
Right. They're just outside doing laundry.
Yeah.
Oh boy, my goodness gracious. Well,
it's crazy.
It is. Well, with that, our disastrous veto was won by Terrence. Listen, Is DJ Showtime becoming a comp beast?
Had he won anything up until now?
No, he's not becoming a comp beast because even in the week where he won HOH, he didn't win HOH. So no.
As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, John is gonna jump all over this. I can't wait. Yeah, not a comp beast, but did win Veto. Did win. And I feel like this is not the first time Terrence won something. Like other than
I can't
this
remember.
Like, didn't he win something else at some point? John's like the record keeper. He's checking.
Which also, speaking of competition wins, just to jump back to the beginning of the week real quick,
Sure.
Until Michael said it in his DR, I didn't even clock the fact that he is the first repeat HOH of the season. My boy has got to stop winning competitions.
Well, he's going to stop this week because he can't win.
But at least at this point, he better keep winning all the competitions. Like, they're gonna gun for him.
I think it depends on who wins HOH. Because I think he'd be safe in a Taylor HOH. I still don't think she'd go for him.
Yeah, but I also, as much as I love that, it's foolish to keep him.
Terrence has not won anything else.
Oh. Terrence, I tried. I did what I could. But so he wins this, blah, blah, blah. He uses this now to take Turner down. He takes Turner down and replaces him with Kyle.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's so frustrating too, because like when you watch the edit of this, it's like, why did he even do that? What was the point if Joseph was a target the whole time? The reason why was because of the wall yeller, but they won't talk about the wall yeller, so they don't know that it was the wall yeller.
Right.
The wall yeller actually did something.
Right, because the wall yeller said something about like don't trust Kyle, right? And he's racist.
Kyle's a liar or something like that.
Yeah. But it didn't change anything, which is interesting too. So like, you put him up there, but that you still ended up.
Here's the thing: is like, I was listening to Taryn's updates, and he was talking about how like production never wants to like give clout to the wall yellers, and I don't know if this is like based on things that have happened in past seasons that like house guests have talked about after the fact, but there's reason to believe that production instructs people when a wall yeller happens. You cannot you can't change anything based on this information, pretend you never heard it. You cannot make game moves based on what you hear from the wall yeller. So there is reason to believe that Terrence initially wanted to change his nominations because of that, but they were told so many times or guided in questioning from production to like think of it in a different way that like potentially the wall yeller could have influenced something and it could have sent Kyle out the door, but they were told so many times not to trust it, not to listen to it, or even just guided in questioning to like get manipulated into not thinking about it anymore, that it wasn't the case. And I don't know.
That's interesting. Almost like when they try to say like in real court, like when the jury hears something they're not supposed to, and they're like, oh, strike that. And it's like, you cannot unring a bell.
Right. I can't unhear it.
Yes.
Right.
Like it already happened. So like it kind of is what it is. Yeah. But apparently he is turning a blind eye to it, because then they started a new alliance. The after party which now consists of Terrence, Kyle, Alyssa, and Turner. What do we think about this? The after party.
I think it's gross.
Why is it gross?
I'm so disappointed in Turner. I'm very disappointed in Turner.
Why is that?
Well, listen, I can't. Okay. So he came down from the block. He's got new life in the game. And I understand they've been separated. So now he's in good with Kyle and Alyssa and the HOH and Terrence as they're all, targeting Joseph. I get it. But it just it really bothered me to see how quickly Turner was just like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll go over here now. Like, I just felt like you started off on the block next to Joseph, your ally, part of your alliance in the leftovers. And it just felt like as soon as he came down, everything changed for Turner in his mind. Like, it was just, I felt like, especially when we saw some of that footage of like Joseph coming out and trying to sort of blow up Kyle's game. And he was repeating a lot of the same stuff to Alyssa that Daniel had actually said, and sort of like confirming it. Like, yeah, Kyle wasn't going to take you down from the block. if Daniel hadn't used that veto. And I felt like for Turner, the way that he switched on a dime like that, to me, it didn't really make that much sense, because it felt like, okay, I get it. Things aren't looking good for Joseph, but now you're just kind of like turning on the whole alliance, everything you've been working towards in the game so far for Kyle, Alyssa, and Terrence. You're still going to go back into the house where there's 4 other leftovers left. You know what I mean? Like, if he had stayed loyal to that, I feel like you're going to now be walking in still in the majority alliance, even if Joseph goes home. And you're just like so quickly now saying you're working with Kyle and Alyssa. But I also felt like when Joseph was saying those things, right, in that conversation they were having outside, kind of saying like, yeah, Kyle wasn't going to use the veto. He actually, at one point was saying that he wanted to send you home, Alyssa, like was saying all this stuff. If Turner had instead, I would have preferred if Turner even just sat there in silence and didn't like contribute to the conversation at all. But he was actually contributing, saying like, Joseph, well, you were playing both sides and this and that. But then at the same time, I felt like if he had actually backed up Joseph, that might have got Alyssa thinking like, oh, I don't think I can trust Kyle. Maybe I should vote to keep Joseph. You know what I mean? Like Turner could have, I feel like he flipped on an ally so quickly when he didn't really even need to. He was off the block. He was safe. Even if Joseph goes home, he's still going back into the house and going to be in the majority alliance in the leftovers, even with Joseph going home. I just felt, or you might have the chance now that Kyle is on the block to save your ally in Joseph and try to get Alyssa to flip to not trust her showmance anymore. I just felt like the way that he just he dove right in to being like, yeah, send out Joseph. I'm all about the after party now. I was just like, this feels so gross to me. I just really didn't like it.
So here's where I have what I am very confident is a very unpopular opinion, because I've seen the way that BB Twitter has been talking about this week. I know that I'm in the minority on this, but I also feel very strongly about it. I think people are being way too hard on Turner right now. Because when you look at it, first of all, nothing is going to break up Alyssa and Kyle. I don't care what you tell her. She's going to run right back to him. There's nothing that you can say that's going to make her think, I don't trust him, and actually stick to it. So whatever. But he is separated from most of his alliance. The other side of the house, the remaining, 4 people in there are a part of the leftovers. There is reason to believe that they have gotten closer over this week because they are the 4 that have left and have been gaming together. So if I'm Turner, I'm thinking, yeah, I could go back to my alliance, but I'm going to be on the bottom of it. They're going to want to pick me off first because they're now probably a 4. And I'm going to come in as the 5th with Kyle as the 6th. I'm going to be on the bottom. They're going to gun for me first. He's also separated from that, and now he's in a position where it's him and his ally versus the other 3 people who are left in his side of the house. So is he going to stir up chaos and go against everybody else on his side of the house when he knows that he's going in to be on the bottom of another alliance? Or is he going to try to pull those other 3 people, make his own 4, try to set him up in a position where maybe he's at the top of this food chain as opposed to at the bottom of the other, have numbers on his side? Yeah, he's going to cut a member of his previous alliance, but guess what? That's kind of a good move. Joseph is a great player. I love Joseph. I don't want to see Joseph go, but I cannot fault somebody for taking a good shot at a player that is good in the game. Just because I like that player doesn't mean it's a bad move and doesn't mean that Turner's a bad person. He took the shot at somebody that needs to go for him to advance in the game. I think that people are being really, really hard on him unnecessarily. Like all of a sudden now people are like going back to his business and giving him bad Yelp reviews and all this. I don't understand why we had to flip so hard. Like he's playing the game. He's doing what he entered the house to do. He's playing the game.
That's very fair. Very fair.
Yeah, and I think that's the side that I lean on as well, because I kind of feel like at this stage, everything is really about what gets me through one more week. It's kind of hard when numbers are at this stage to be looking. You can't look at final 3 just yet. Like we're just going from 10 to 8, so it's like I need to just make sure I get through like the next week. So what sets me up best going into the next week? He even said in a DR that he already felt like he was at the bottom of the leftovers to begin with. So you can remain feeling like you're in the bottom of something, and it's very hard mentally not knowing what's going on the other side. So like to Gina's point, like, these people could be getting closer and you don't know anything about it. You already thought you were on the bottom. You could be even further down now. At least what this does is leaves the door open to kind of walk back into that leftovers thing, if that's still going to be a thing once that, once the backyard door opens. Or I can kind of ride it out with these people over here.
Or do both. He can
Sure.
be a double agent for both sides and have numbers in both places.
Right. You can now start playing the game that Joseph was playing.
Yeah.
Which is an unfortunate thing for Joseph. Like, it does suck. Like, we like Joseph. Thank you for everything you did to kind of help Taylor along here, because he was instrumental in her subsequent success. However, I don't know. I can't say that I wouldn't have. Well, if I thought of it, I might have done the same thing. I don't know that I would have handled this with such aplomb.
I really
the heartbeat aplomb.
I'm just nervous. See, because here's the thing. I haven't just like completely now flipped to being like, oh, I hate Turner. I just didn't like.
Oh, a
this
lot
week.
of people have.
Oh,
have.
I didn't mean to insinuate that you were either.
No. I just this week I really just didn't like how he handled things, and part of it I think is also because hitching your wagon now to Kyle, Alyssa, and Terrence. Alyssa, who hasn't won anything, right? Terrence, who hasn't won anything until this week, and Kyle, who just has exposed the entire alliance because he did mention Turner in that. He said that Monty was running the show, Joseph was his wingman, Turner was involved. Kyle has already thrown your name out there, so I would be nervous if I'm Turner now. I'm going to go into the house, and even if you are like set on working with this new after party alliance, knowing that Kyle was so quick to flip on that alliance, I'm nervous that if Kyle gets to them first, we'll be the one to say like Turner, oh yeah, he flipped on Joseph, he voted him and Alyssa,
But see, that's the thing too, though, is that Kyle gave him a perfect out, because now all he has to do is go to the rest of the leftovers and say, listen, what was I supposed to do? Kyle exposed us. There was nothing else that I could do but beg for forgiveness from Terrence. I had to play along to survive the week. We had to lose Joseph. That sucks. I really wanted to get Kyle out. We have to get Kyle out now because he exposed our alliance. I had to do what I had to do to survive. Of course, I was going to be the yes man to Terrence. Kyle just exposed me. That is such a good get out of jail free card for having to go against what the alliance wanted.
Yeah, he's walking back into the house with a shield already. And
I think so.
This is what happened. And I don't see that Terrence would even like deny that. So even if it became like a house meeting or something like that, it's like, well, did Kyle say these things? I feel like Terrence
So I hope so. I hope it doesn't get flipped on it where now Kyle comes back, goes to Monty and them and starts saying, oh yeah, Turner, Joseph was up and Turner didn't do anything to save him, or whatever it is. I feel like some of it is a little bit of a race. I do think
it is a race, but I think that as far as credibility is concerned, if I was the big Rochella people, and I was being presented with both, I would absolutely believe that it was Kyle that spilled the beans on this whole thing, because he already was wishy-washy with the veto thing with Alyssa. Yeah, it was already like...
We've already seen him prioritize Alyssa over his alliance. There is no reason... And people have even said, because we only had feeds on the inside of the house, so it's all the information that we had. But we've heard people say, like, if they come back and Joseph's not here, Kyle's out. Like, we know it was Kyle. There's no... Because they know that he's already had... You okay, Kyle?
It's like a fly in my face.
Oh my god!
I always say there's a million places to fly. Why do you have to be right here?
That was wild. If you're audio only, you better go back to that video.
Yeah, go back to 39 minutes.
But because they've already seen him flip on the alliance by not using the veto. There was that whole like veto thing with Alyssa that you were just talking about. They already know that like. When it comes to Alyssa versus the alliance, Kyle can't be trusted. So they said right off the bat, if Joseph does not walk in this door, Kyle sent him out. And we know that. So it's going to be very easy to convince them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have one more question. Do you think, just want to get your opinion, do you think that, let's say Kyle goes back in and tries to make the argument that's, hey, Joseph was out, but I was on the block next to him. Alyssa voted him out and Turner voted him out. Turner didn't vote for him to stay, forcing Terrence to break a tie and blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, could there be any way that Kyle gets people on the leftover side to believe him by saying, I was on the block. I didn't even have the chance to vote to save Joseph. Turner voted him out.
I mean, maybe, but again, like, what else is Turner gonna do? Knowing that both Alyssa and Terrence are going to vote out Joseph in the end game, he's still gonna be the contrarian. No, he's just gonna go along with what they want to save himself. What else is he supposed to do? You know?
Right.
I wouldn't hold that against him.
I
if
wouldn't
was
hold
on
it
the other
against him
side.
either, because like what else were you supposed to do? Because even if you did vote Joseph and Alyssa voted, I'm sorry, you voted Kyle and Alyssa voted Joseph, like Terrence was always going to vote.
Right.
Yeah. So now
You're
you're on
putting
the bottom
yourself
of
on the
everything.
losing side. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like this house is funny. This game is funny. I feel like Kyle could technically use that. I was on the block. If it was me and Turner voting, I would have voted to save Joseph. But
and I'm
Turner
sure
voted him out.
I'm sure he will use it, but I don't think it's going to really hold water for anybody else.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't hold water.
I
with
hope
me.
not.
Slot and spoons don't hold much soup.
I'm dying for Kyle to leave, so I hope that. God, I hope Kyle's out next.
Yeah.
God,
unless he wins HOH.
God, I know.
I'm so mad we didn't get a live HOH this week.
I really thought we were going to get one. And the second that Joseph was evicted, and then they said, all right, we're going to come back with the interview, I was like, well, that's it. The second they cut for commercial there, I was like,
I've heard whispers the last couple of days that like how they do like the tiny veto, that the competition is like a tiny HOH. So if that is the case, I didn't expect to get a live HOH. But I think this week of all weeks, I would have loved to, because you would have seen everybody come back together, and now all of a sudden they're realizing who's not there anymore, and it's a scramble for HOH. This is a perfect live HOH week.
Yeah.
It's a perfect live HOH week. It's a perfect endurance. It's perfect for anything, other than what happened. Other than nothing. Yeah,
shocker.
Yeah. Which means now, who knows when the feeds are going to be turned back on?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So what are we looking forward to with the week ahead? What do we think? We think nothing because we know nothing.
Well, can I ask one more thing about the twist?
You can ask as many things as you'd like.
So, because I know there was some stuff out there. People weren't happy that like the sides weren't, separated immediately. I heard that there was some talk that after the side, and I know it was kind of left up in the air, right? It was like there's going to be two completely separate. Completely separate sides, two different games simultaneously going on in the house.
Melissa was there tonight.
As an audience member. Wow. Tell us how
that is amazing.
Did you have a good time?
Melissa? Where was my invite?
Oh my God. But so, and I know Julie said like there'll be no interaction. Now to me, that means that like, okay, the twist has started. Nobody should be talking anymore, right? But it felt like even after the sides were picked, they went back into the house. People were talking. We found out that Michael and Kyle had a conversation about like who the outside people should target and all this kind of stuff. Like, how did you guys feel about this? Did you feel like it was okay? Would you have preferred if nobody spoke at all once the twist was announced? Like, I just feel like everything was so sloppy, and I just hated how everything got started.
I think I said this on Thursday as well. I wish that they didn't announce to the house guests what the twist was until after they were already in their teams, or that they had like painted it like now you're going to compete in teams. And once they had selected their teams, it's actually these teams are never going to speak for the rest of the week. And there's an eviction happening each one. Like, don't give them all of the details of the twist before they choose their teams and get separated. It gives you the ability to pregame, to plan, to talk amongst yourselves. It gave them too much of an opportunity to control what was going to happen before it happened.
Right. No, I totally agree. And like, I don't know if it really had that big of an impact on like what happened this week and all that, but it made me feel like the whole twist was tainted right from the start.
Yeah.
Like, even if everything had played out exactly the way that it did, the way we saw it, it just made the twist right from the beginning of the week feel bad. And it made it hard to enjoy anything that happened throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
I actually did not mind any of this at all. I felt like it was very, very, very much in the beginning of everything happening. There are too many variables that could now come up throughout the eviction cycle that like would change this. It really didn't bother me at all. Period. It didn't bother me. I didn't even give any thought to it until you had voiced how disgruntled you were by it.
Well,
but
because I feel like it's this big announcement. It's like, oh, for the first time ever, 2 games going on in the same house, no interaction, and then it's like
and
the
that
twist
was
starts,
the thing. It's the fact
and they're
that
talking. They're immediately talking right after you said
literally
that.
like 5 times over the course of the week, Julie made it a point to make such a big deal about like they will not interact with each other at all. And the first thing that we saw was everybody clumped together in the backyard, and we were like, well, you made a big deal about them not talking to each other. So now maybe I wouldn't have been annoyed, but now I am because you made such a big deal about how no one's going to be talking.
Well, I was more bothered by when the teams were picked and they did go back in the house for a moment, and then there was chatter
and everything. Yeah.
That bothered me. That bothered me.
That's what I mean
more.
too.
The backyard time did not bother me at all.
But that's what I'm including too, because they didn't really know the teams until they came back into the house. It was after teams were chosen and everybody knew what the twist was that they were still able to converse. That's what really bothered me more than anything. And I almost wouldn't have minded it as much if they had like built-in things during the week. If they had like a designated person that like, you know, somebody from the outside has to come in and get food for everybody for the week. From the storage room or something, and that one person is allowed to talk to someone in Brochella for like 3 minutes to get whatever information they can, or so, you know, like try to like build things into the twist that are like purposeful rather than you know, just repeating over and over again 2 different games and they won't get to talk to each other at all. And then the second they all pick the team,
until they do,
they're all talking to each other. Yeah, like it can't be this hard. This is a TV set that you have complete control over. Why are these twists always so messy and sloppy? And like the minute you say,
the same reason that nobody prepared for wall yellers when everybody was going to be outside all week. They don't think.
No.
It's unbelievable.
I like this twist. I don't want to be a complete naysayer. It definitely needs to be tweaked. There are certainly some things that we can change.
It just wasn't executed well.
Right. I look forward to Canada correcting it. Except they probably can't because like it'll be cold. But when they're playing their game, it'd be too chilly up north. But I'm excited to see it come back.
I wouldn't be so. I would watch Canada build a whole second house. Like,
yeah,
they would. They would.
Yeah. For us, it's just this half they'll just sit in the backyard all week. Yeah,
in a heat wave.
Great plan, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I will say this. I did not like this twist. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy watching it. I hated that we didn't get feeds for a lot of the week, and I had no idea what was going on. But I will say that I feel like the twist accomplished what they wanted it to, right? Like, it really did shake things up. We potentially have 2 completely different sides now going into the house that will be at war with each other. The after party and the remnants of the leftovers, right? Like, that is exciting. You've got this Final 8 now, 4v4 kind of set up, you know, so that's cool. I do like that. I definitely know which side of the house I am rooting for, but I guess, you know, I suppose they accomplished what they wanted to. I just didn't love the way it all played out.
Well, do you also think that this could really be the foundation of like maybe shaking things up like this in the future? You know, there's always a lot of discourse around like the large majority kind of steamrolling over things. If this is something that's introduced sooner, we can see some of those larger alliances kind of crumble a little sooner. I would love to see this come back just a little better.
In that situation, they have to randomize the draw.
Right, and I think that they can fix this. This was a trial run. I still want to give them a little bit of credit for at least trying something new.
I don't hate this twist. I just think that it needs to be finessed a little bit. It does.
Yeah, we need to fix some things. This was not a perfect execution, but I'm encouraged by the fact that at least America tried something new. It's always big brothers from around the world that have these new concepts and these new things to do. We
take them and make them worse.
Yes, exactly. We just do the same old regular shit, or we take whatever they do and destroy it. At least we started something that everybody else can perfect. So by the time we come back around, we got it.
Maybe.
But at least maybe exactly.
Or we do exactly the same thing again.
It's just probably what it will be. But like at least we tried and we started something, you know.
I honestly would like to see this twist as like a first night thing. Like first 8 that move in, you're a side. First 8 that move in, you're a side. Mm-hmm. All right, we're playing 2 separate games now. So I feel like then it's just Survivor like all right. Style. It's like the whole house is being reunited, but you haven't even met half of the house, and like, but you've already got this alliance now to this
So
side.
you want Big Brother to go Survivor?
Kinda.
I still would want a few weeks in before we introduce it. Because then it really is just like two games being played at the same time. I would like to see things get messy. I think some of the excitement would be the fact that people will have to turn on each other. Like I want them to have some kind of relationship first.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I just felt like this felt too late for it. Like I was almost bored this week.
I agree. This is a little too late. Yeah.
It was too late. I don't like that it was only 5, meaning that there's only now 2 votes. I don't like that.
Let this be like the last week pre-jury.
I would love that.
You know,
let that be how we get into jury.
Yeah,
those
let
are
4
enough
and
numbers
5
on
go
both
here.
sides.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then this starts the jury process.
Let's send a letter.
It's interesting too, because then you'd have 2 people going to the jury house on that first night, but they wouldn't know who's going to be there. You know what I mean? Like now, I feel like usually there's one jury person.
No. The last 2 pre-jurors go in this situation.
Oh, the last 2 pre-jurors. Okay.
This would have been Nicole and Daniel.
And now, like, tonight would start jury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like, okay, we've gotten to jury now. Now we'll do this.
No. Well, that's where we are now.
No, well, Indy went in before the twist started.
But it's one person.
I forgot all about her. I guess I had to wait for Indy to go at that point because I had to get the numbers even. So, yeah. But to do it pre-jury would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. That's all I have. Anybody have anything else for the benefit of the community?
I think that's all I got.
No.
Okay. Well, special announcement. Sunday's episode of Big Brother is delayed on the East Coast. Delayed. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Much to my chagrin, because now that's going to be spilling into House of the Dragon. So I guess I'll be watching Big Brother on Monday. All right. Sorry, that will take precedence. We're very sorry. We heart Targaryens. However, we'll be with you Monday at 9:30. Oh, to discuss the popularity poll as well. That's already live. Okay, so go to our Instagram at BB Jury Duty. Click through the story. Vote yay or nay on your house guests. And let us know what you think. We'll be chatting about that on Monday.
Yeah, we've already got some votes on that, too.
Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thanks for paying attention to our friends out there. Then, of course, Wednesday at 10:30, we're here discussing the Challenge USA. And then we'll be back again next week, Thursday at 10:30. For BB24. And that's the week ahead. Thanks for hanging. Any final thoughts? Last call.
That's all I got.
Well, that's it.
All right. Thanks for a fun night, everyone. Find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on our little website at bbjuryduty.com. This is Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast, and we're out of here. Thanks a lot.